May I say hello to everybody and thank you for being with us. I hope that in the following minutes we are going to gather a lot of friends because we have a lot of interesting things to discuss today. We are going to talk, of course, about Via Gastrocarpathia route, about all the wonderful places that are waiting to be discovered, about all the experiences from the 15 influencers which have discovered parts of this route, and also what it meant from the behind. Because as you can imagine, this is a very big project. There were about 2 years involved, and a lot of people were here and worked together. So I think that today we are going to take and to have a taste about what we are going to discover on Via Gastrocarpathia route, and also what it meant to let's say to craft such an important and big event. First of all, I'd like to kindly ask you, because I will do this, to give a like to this live video, and also to press the share button, because I'm sure that every single friend from your list is going to be quite interested in what we are about to discuss today. My name is Alex Grecu. I am the host of today's event. I am also a radio host here in Romania, and not in the list, I'm also one of the people who have discovered this wonderful route Via Gastrocarpathia, but here in Romania. We went to the Maramureș county, and may I say that it was the first time in my life that I went there. Unfortunately, might I add, because it's such a wonderful place in Romania to discover, and I'm extremely curious, and I'm hoping that I'm going to discover very soon also these routes in Hungary and also in Ukraine and so on, because it's a wonderful route, and the most important thing is that we can all get a taste of it, and we can also get a preview, quite detailed, may I add, because we have our site viagastrocarpathia.com, which we can discover, and also there we can see every single experience that our influencers had. But this is only a short intro from what we are about to discover today. Let me tell you first of all just a few words about Via Gastrocarpathia, what it means, and more information about it. So as you know, Via Gastrocarpathia is a cross-border touristic route mapped in the regions of Maramureș in Romania, Borsod-Abauj-Zemplen in Hungary, and Transcarpathia, Ukraine. Tourists traveling in these areas can find useful information about local places on Via Gastrocarpathia, and it aims to highlight the traditional crafts and the gastronomic culture of the Carpathian Euro region. Might I say that in Romania we have discovered very interesting craftsmen, a lot of people who are carrying on the heritage of our roots, and also the gastronomic culture. This was delicious, can I say, and I'm very curious also to find out how was it in Ukraine and in Hungary. Continuing, we have valuable components of the cultural heritage, local crafts and gastronomy, because they stand as pillars to a common regional tourist destinations, both by similarities and by the specific characteristic of each area. Thus, Via Gastrocarpathia was designed as a tool for tourists to discover the most beautiful and valuable places, people, and traditions of the mapped region of Carpathian Euro region. And this is very simple, and it makes such a whole experience and complex experience to everybody who wants to discover this route just by clicking on our site viagastrocarpathia.com. The route is part of Kragas project funded by the European Union with Hungary, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine ENI CBC program 2014-2020, and is the result of a collaboration between 3 universities and 3 business organizations from Romania, Hungary, and Ukraine that have paired to propose an innovative approach in promoting the heritage and touristic potential of crafts and gastronomy in Hungary, Romania, Ukraine cross-border region. Might I add also that the project leader is Maramureș Chamber of Commerce and Industry from Romania, and the partners are Babes-Bolyai University from Romania, University of Miskolc, and Chamber of Commerce and Industry for Borsod-Abaúj-Zemplen County from Hungary, and also State University Uzhhorod National University and Transcarpathian Enterprise Support Fund, which is called TES Fund, both from Ukraine. So this is just a few informations here in the beginning of our meeting today, of our live, about Via Gastrocarpathia, about what it means, and also how was it possible to have it today, and all the people who are involved in this wonderful project, might I add, in which we can discover beautiful places, natural places, and also I like to think that we can escape from the urban busyness in which we live our lives every day, at least most of us. So now let's talk a little bit about the Facebook page and also about the site, because the site, I think, is the main tool for every tourist who want to discover this route, and also to plan it, because it will be so easy to plan the route if you go and visit exactly the site, which is, let's say, I think it's in my right? Yeah, it's okay. Actually, it's different from me. So the description, as I was saying, of the project started. The project actually started 2 years ago with researchers from the 3 countries identifying the most beautiful and valuable places, people, and also many very important traditions in the region of Maramureș, Borsod-Abaúj-Zemplen, and Transcarpathia, and turning them into a cross-border route. In the first part of this year, 5 influencers from each country, of course there were 15 in total. There we can see Cristian Kinabirta on our first live in which we have met. Well, they have traveled, the influencers have traveled these routes to discover the places, people, and traditions. We spoke with them in a previous event, as I was telling you, and find out more about their own experience on Via Gastrocarpathia. And recently, we are very happy that we have launched the routes website. As I told you, it's viagastrocarpathia.com, which we encourage you to visit. On the Research Center, that is the very important tab and menu which we have to visit. Well, there you will find all the videos made by the influencers during their journey on Via Gastrocarpathia. I saw most of them. I don't want to lie to you, I didn't see quite all of them, but they are very interesting because they are giving you a very honest take on what every influencer on each country have and has discovered. And this is quite a very interesting experience to have only on the video. I'm not even thinking about discovering the routes in real life. So during the 2 years of implementation, the project activities were diverse, including a substantial part of research and documentation, then mapping, testing the route, which was outlined and promoted by 2 important tools. Of course, we have the Facebook page, which I hope that you have already liked. In case you didn't, please go and click the like button right there, and also the web page viagastrocarpathia.com. Now, around the hundreds of posts that promote local craftsmen and their stories, but also the cultural tradition and history of the places, a community of over 20,000 people who follow and interact the Via Gastrocarpathia Facebook page have gathered, and I would like to thank every single one of them. Thus, a common group generated by Via Gastrocarpathia emerged. In addition to the Facebook page of the route, the website viagastrocarpathia.com offers relevant information to all those who want to discover cultural values in the 3 cross-border regions that together form a very interesting tourist area. The website is a tool that integrates the map of the route, descriptions of the locations, and their necessary contacts for everyone who wants to start traveling on Via Gastrocarpathia. A resource center with 30 videos that describe in words and images the most representative locations on the route can also be found on the website. These are, in fact, the experience of those 15 Romanian, Hungarian, and Ukrainian influencers who visited part of the locations included on the route in order to share with you information, local stories, and the experience they had on Via Gastrocarpathia. Now, the webpage viagastrocarpathia.com has a simple and easy to manage structure thanks to the integrated search filters. It's so easy with them, I must add. Tourists traveling to these areas can find on this webpage useful information about local particularities, as Via Gastrocarpathia aims to highlight the traditional crafts and gastronomic culture of the Carpathian Euro region and route. Being valuable components of the cultural heritage, the local crafts and gastronomy represent the way to a common regional tourist destination, both by similarities and by the specific characteristic of each area. Thus, the website, viagastrocarpathia.com, was designed as a tool that can be used by tourists everywhere to discover the most beautiful and valuable places, people and traditions in the mapped region of the Carpathian Euro region. The language used, well, it's English, an international language, precisely to provide easy access to information on the route. Now, if you are thinking of embarking on a journey and discovering Via Gastrocarpathia, which actually I'm hoping you are, go to the website viagastrocarpathia.com and use the informations there to outline your trip. The route can be done in whole or in part, depending on the availability and possibilities of each tourist. How you want to go on this route? Well, this is up to you. The Resource Center was created precisely to help you choose what you want to discover, giving you relevant information about the most beautiful locations on the route. There are several possibilities in which you can get information about the locations, craftsmen, and gastronomy included on Via Gastrocarpathia. The first one is to use the map as the main tool, clicking on each location you want to discover, as we can see right now on the screen. Take, for example, Borsod family from Romania. Well, we go to the point on the map and, of course, we click. This will open a box containing a picture showing the selected point, a brief description, and address of the location. To read more details, click Read More. The page with the detailed description, contacts, and social media pages that belong to this point on the route, as well as the material from the resource center dedicated to the location, will be made available to you. Well, this way you can find out that Mr. Borodi thinks that in order to practice this profession of making traditional hats, one has to have handiness, but the love for craft is much more important. Another interesting aspect we can learn from this is that some hats are simple while others are created to be worn during holidays. Because in Maramureș, no man goes to church without a hat, as well as at weddings and baptisms. The second way, carrying on to find information about locations on the route, is to go to the menu Locations. The categories included in the search filters on the page can help you choose both the places to visit, the places where you can have unique culinary experiences. Also, the categories accommodation, meals, and points of interest come to your aid and give you all the necessary details to organize your trip. This way, you can choose a location from Ukraine. And now let's find out more about gastronomy and choose, let's say, Ina Prihara. There it is. Now this image actually looks quite delicious. This, as I was telling you, we will we'll try to find out more from the video. So this is the first craft cheese factory in Transcarpathia, which was founded in 2002. The video, made by the Ukrainian influencers Uzhhorod and Manko, which I'm saluting right now, give you an insight of this interesting place. The only thing left to do, well, is to go and taste the cheese directly from the factory. It should be noted that viagastrocarpathia.com does not offer reservation services, but puts you in direct contact through the data provided with local craftsmen, with gastronomic points, or with accommodations and meal services included on the route. Thus, each tourist can think of his own journey on Via Gastrocarpathia, which he can later share without. This is very important, to share our experience on Via Gastrocarpathia and get others inspired. Well, why not to choose our own route? Going back to the locations on Via Gastrocarpathia, you might want to travel to Hungary and find out more about the local culture. Let's see what Marta Fügedi Folk Art Associations means and what do they do. Well, the Marta Fügedi Folk Art Association coordinates the craftsmen engaged in folk art, organizes exhibitions and educational programs, crafts markets, and training courses. There are also open workshops where visitors can discover the beauty of the craft. A whole world of local folk traditions reveals to the curious person who pushes the play button of the video on our website. This web page is a dynamic tool, so it will be the end of the project. More locations will be included on the route, as this common tourist region included in the project has yet many valuable cultural places to be discovered. Well, this was just a brief presentation of our website, of our web page, and also about what we are going to discover on Via Gastrocarpathia. And just to give you a little taste of it, I want to propose you right now to watch together a video and to discover just a little part of Romania.
Pe mine mă cheamă Măriuca Verdiș, după bărbat îs și Nemeș. Astăzi ne-am adunat pentru că facem parte dintr-o asociație, Asociația Rădăcinilor Străbune. Ne-am adunat mai multe găzdoi ca să arătăm că produsele și meșteșugul tradițional poate fi promovat mai departe și celor care nu-l cunosc.
Bună ziua, eu sunt Andreea Ceterchi.
Și eu sunt Marius Ceterchi și vă urăm bine ați venit la noi în Breb, județul Maramureș. Casa lui Dochia era pe poziție, iar noi acum suntem în grădina casei lui Dochia, unde am adus încă două case din satul vecin, din Budea. Nu există masă sau întâlnire sau lucrare care să nu se termine, cel puțin, dacă nu chiar să și înceapă cu o horincă.
Ceea ce facem noi, da, prin clacă, la tors și la urzit de lână, arătăm acea formă de ajutorare a aproapelui. Am încercat să-l păstrăm ca un muzeu viu.
Și aici am făcut un brâu pentru zadie și cu culori mai închisă și cu culori mai deschisă.
Bine ați venit la IUT, bine ați venit la Casa Tradițiilor, sperăm să aveți un sejur minunat și vă stăm la dispoziție cu tot ce aveți nevoie. Cu legume care se fierb și la sfârșit se pun tăiței de casă, care tot aici facem noi la Casa Tradițiilor. Casă tradițională, autentică, maramureșană, unde oaspeții mănâncă pe o față de masă țesută în război.
Casa Tradițiilor este un loc tradițional, după cum îi spune și numele, dar este un loc încântător în care poți să trăiești viața maramureșeană de câteva secole.
Pe mine mă cheamă Vasile Chira, sunt olar încărbunar. De la străbunicul meu încoace face moale. Deci străbunicul meu a fost olar, bunicul soției mele olar, părinții olar, noi și copiii noștri sperăm să ducă mai departe tradiția.
Și am rămas continuator și m-am ocupat și de casă, m-am ocupat și de cimitirul vesel, acolo am avut multe crucea când pleca de la mine, eu mergeam pentru asamblare și tot absolut, să mențin și așa am format mult mai ordonat cimitirul vesel. Am încercat să ridicăm crucile la un nivel mai înalt, ca omul să nu se aplece la citit și asta sunt multe lucruri care după moartea lui le-am făcut.
Se află pe harta turistică a lumii, așa că merită să-l vizitați și voi.
Cum vă numiți?
Jula Ștefan.
De unde sunteți?
Satul Berința, Cătunul Roșa.
Și cu ce vă ocupați?
Cu sculptură.
Considerați că este un har divin ceea ce faceți?
Da. De acolo de sus.
Mai facem și noi și ne descurcăm cumva. Mă numesc Roman Gheorghe, aludan din Bărsana. Fac optinci.
Nu poftim, una albă, una neagră. Cam astea jucăriile lui Vasile Șușca. Na. Tot ce am făcut cu drag. Și când mi-a plăcut. În momentul în care un lucru nu l-am mai făcut din dragoste și din plăcere, m-am oprit. O zice că am făcut-o la Xerox. Noi poftim.
Mă numesc Borsod Vasile, locuiesc în satul Sâr, numărul 180, județul Maramureș. Și fac aceste lucruri cu mare plăcere. Nu era mașină la unul. Să cosă cu mâna frumos, dar tot club de pai să purta la noi.
I have relived my experiences on Via Gastrocarpathia route in Maramureș, watching those videos. I must add, we have met wonderful people, which stories are purely incredible and also inspiring. And talking about communication of this project, we have with us Alexandra Lazar. Thank you for being with us, Alexandra. We are very happy. She's the project communication manager of our project, and I am very curious to find out more about what it meant and about also her challenges. So Alexandra, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well, thank you. And although I'm from here and it's not the first time I went to see those places you just shown, I might say every time I look at them, they are quite amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
So I will provide with some formal information about Via Gastrocarpathia and about Kragas project. As you know, this Via Gastrocarpathia route is part of Kragas, a project that was implemented here. And the full name of it is the Promotion of Crafts and Gastronomy as Relevant Components of the Cultural Heritage of the Carpathian Euro region. The project is financed under the Hungary, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine NECBC program. So I will introduce you with some formal information and the story of our project. The team consists of 6 partners, project leader being Maramureș Chamber of Commerce and Industry from Romania, and the partners, Babes-Bolyai University, also from Romania, University of Miskolc from Hungary, State University Uzhhorod, National University Ukraine, Chamber of Commerce and Industry for Borsod-Abauj-Zemplen County, Hungary, and Transcarpathian Enterprise Support Fund, also known as Test Fund Ukraine. The duration of the project was 2 years, almost completed in the end of September this year. And here is the budget of the project, having the project total budget and European Union contribution, member states contribution, own contribution, as you see on the screen. And of course, we have to start with the purpose of this project. The purpose is to enhance the cooperation between Maramureș, Romania, Borsod-Abauj-Zemplen, Hungary, and Transcarpathia, Ukraine, by creating and promoting a cross-border tourist route that highlights local crafts and gastronomy. Specific objectives and activities carried out within the projects are to conduct an anthropological analysis in the project region on the subjects of crafts and gastronomy, to identify, map, and test a thematic cross-border tourist route in the project region, a thematic cross-border crafts and gastronomic touristic route, and to develop the project region as a common tourist destination by supporting and promoting the mapped cross-border touristic route. Activity 1, talking about anthropological research, there were 3 research teams in the project, 1 from each country in this partnership, that carried out specific activities that identified both the particularities of each area and the common elements of the project region. Babes-Bolyai University from Romania, University of Miskolc from Hungary, and State Uzhhorod National University from Ukraine. The anthropological analysis focused on crafts and gastronomy, the project contributing to the creation of adequate conditions for understanding the project area more as a common cultural area than as a sum of small local cultures. As results, this activity had reports and research team meetings. More about this activity will tell you our colleague after my presentation is done. And now going to activity 2, identification, mapping, and testing the route. The research activities created the context for identifying, mapping, and testing the thematic cross-border touristic route Via Gastrocarpathia. The route was tested by members of the project teams, each in the region they represent. As results, we had reports, research team meetings, and a collective volume of scientific articles resulting from the research activity. Events for route promotion. After mapping the route, 15 influencers, as Alex mentioned before, 5 from each country, visited 10 locations in each partner region and created 30 videos to promote the route. These 30 experiences were presented during an online event which took place on July 27 this year. The influencers visiting the route shared with us what they saw on the route and what was their experience on Via Gastrocarpathia. Today, we have the event on crafts and gastronomy and the closing conference. As a result, more than 3,000 participants in online events on crafts and gastronomy, the event with influencers and today's event, 15 influencers participating in promotional campaign of the route. And going forward to the activity communication and promotion, we might say that the common tourist destination outlined by the cross-border route Via Gastrocarpathia is supported and promoted throughout an online communication campaign that includes two instruments, the website viagastrocarpathia.com and the Facebook page of Via Gastrocarpathia. This is the link for the Facebook page of Via Gastrocarpathia, and we invite you to take a look at it because there are hundreds of posts with interesting subjects to be discovered. And also the link for the website viagastrocarpathia.com that was presented by Alex just before my presentation. The communication and promotion results consisted in a press conference for the launch of the project in the beginning of 2020, press releases, a Facebook page with over 20,000 likes and followers, route website with more than 10,000 visitors, an online communication campaign with a reach of more than 500,000 persons, promotional materials for the route. Via Gastrocarpathia cross-border touristic route with more than 50 locations included as a very important result of this project. 2 online events to promote the route. The first one, the first travelers on Via Gastrocarpathia that took place on July 27, and Explore Via Gastrocarpathia for tourists everywhere, today's event. Promotion campaign with influencers, more than 23,000 persons reached, and the resource center that you can find on viagastrocarpathia.com containing 30 recorded experiences of the 15 influencers and 10 places visited in each country. Well, these were the formal information about Via Gastrocarpathia that is included in Kraga's project. Thank you for your attention, and goodbye.
Alexandra, thank you very much for those informations, and also I would like to congratulate you and the whole team involved in this wonderful project, because I think that your work will translate into experience for all the tourists who are going to discover the route of Via Gastrocarpathia. So congratulations to you, and we will carry on with our today's live, and I would like to propose you to discover another wonderful video, to discover another part of the route of Via Gastrocarpathia, but this time from Ukraine.
Триває наша автовеломандрівка по Закарпаттю, і від Верхньої Грабівниці ми прямуємо до Мукачева. Двоколісним хронікам в цьому проєкті було запропоновано зняти сюжет про найбільшу в Україні буйволину ферму біля закарпатського містечка Виноградів. Туди ми й вирушимо незабаром.
Ми тут нещодавно відкрили для себе нове слово, закарпатське слово, таке леквар. Чули про таке? От я теж недавно дізналась про таке.
Ботар – село на самому краєчку Закарпаття, яке, здається, нічим не вирізняється серед інших. Але є тут один особливий будинок, який справедливо можна вважати вартою уваги туристичною атракцією. Музей тут зовсім невеличкий, але він постійно поповнюється, адже господар закладу має пристрасть збирати солодкі експонати, себто різноманітні повидла з різних країн по усьому світу.
В Закарпатті є два унікальні райони – Тячівщина, яка є найбільшим за розміром районом України, і Рахівщина – найбільш високогірний район. Шар за шаром туф вирізали із скелі. В результаті утворилася величезна печера.
Це музикальний інструмент дримба. Це у кожного хлопця, у кожної дівчини було.
Закарпаття – унікальний регіон, бо, по-перше, звідси до 10 європейських столиць ближче, ніж до Києва. А по-друге, регіон ніби ізольований. З одного боку кордонами, з іншого Карпатами. Виявилось, плести господарі почали ще коли під стіл пішки бігали. Тому зараз викручують і столи, і стільці, крісла-качалки, люстри, сумки. Про кошики взагалі мовчу.
Під час недавнього візиту в Ужгород ми завітали у галерею Natura Interior, якою займаються подружжя Андрія та Лесі Возницьких. Вони створюють справжні шедеври і роблять це дуже успішно, продаючи свої твори з України на весь світ.
Річка Боржава починається на одноіменній полонині на схилах гори Стій. Її довжина складає 106 кілометрів, і на берегах цієї річки розташовані дуже цікаві села. Ми поїдемо проти течії від села Сільце, де розташовані вулканічні стовпи, через Білки, де жив Кротон Фірцак, найсильніша людина планети, до 200-річного водяного млина в Лукові та закінчимо водяною кузнею в селі Лисичево.
Тут є пан Роберт, який займається крафтовим виробництвом різних пікантних, легкоалкогольних і не зовсім напоїв.
Взагалі Закарпаття дуже славиться своїми винами, сирами. І скільки б разів ми сюди не приїжджали, ми завжди купуємо місцевий сир, веземо навіть з собою. Елеський сир назвали на честь свого села. Сир-Хуст на честь райцентру. Ну а нарцис Карпат, зрозуміли, так?
Про це місце ви точно чули. Але чи були ви тут? Давайте разом подивимося, що тут є. Ми приїхали в єдине місце в світі, де ростуть нарциси на висоті більше 200 метрів над рівнем моря, розташоване в долині. Долина нарцисів.
Во-перших, я не місцева жителька. Я здалеку, лише вийшла сюди заміж. Моя прощена не буде стара, як вам казати, свекруха моя. Вони все цим займали давним-давним-давно. Дуже багато років. І я прийшла сюди, я побачила, мені сподобалося. Я сіла попробувати. Попробувала, мене пішло.
У 1557 році, коли королівське військо атакувало замок, в якому перебував барон, він вирішив побудувати неподалік від замку палац, в якому на випадок небезпеки він міг би зайняти більш стратегічно безпечне місце.
Ну, зараз ми знаходимося в нашому підвалі. Це самий маленький підвал із наших підвалів, із нашого господарства. Не треба на вино, так, знаєте, нападати. Треба до нього відноситися з увагою і повагою. І треба роздивитися, яке вино, що з ним відбувається. От робота виноробова, вона у келиху.
We have seen the wonderful images, places, and people from Ukraine. And just now I was thinking how easy is to discover Via Gastrocarpathia route. Because if you are, for example, in Maramureș, you can visit the area and you can go across the border. It's extremely near, and enter Ukraine and discover all the wonderful places there. And I would like to talk more about our project with Natalia Todorova, which is now live with us. I'd like to thank you very much for being today with us. She's the research coordinator of the Uzhhorod National University from Ukraine, and we are going to talk today about the key findings of the international research team. So, Natalia, once again, hello and welcome to our live.
Hello, and welcome to Via Gastrocarpathia to all our vast audience. Of course, I have being the Ukrainian research team representative, I have the honor to present the key finding of our three countries' research team. You understand that it was an eye-opening experience for all of us, and trying to summarize what we have done. during this almost 2 years, I gave the overview of my talk as follows. First of all, I want to give some proofs of the reliability of our research, because although we all had our professional interest in the subject, we take care that our tourists receive authentic, proven information about the locations which we included into the route. Then I organized my talk as Alexandra has already mentioned, the objectives of the research, what we did in the desk research, in the in-depth research, what was the scientific background of testing the routes, and finally I will give you the output, summarize the outputs of our work. So very shortly, reliability of research findings is proven, first of all, by goal settings, which were in a very detail presented in the application form of the project. We try to ensure the relevant staffing, because all the teams are staffed with the professionals in anthropology, ethnography, historians, local historians. We used the latest methodology, which was proven, and it was a wonderful case of networking when the researchers of 3 countries consulted each other to develop the methodologies, which really give us the good results. And the scope of research will be illustrated in some other slides when I give you the amount of work we have done. So, desk research. Depending on the objectives of the project, we really wanted not only to show that we are different, the more important was to find out the common root. And as I said, it was the eye-opening experience for many of us, because we found so many things in our culture and traditions which are in common. And altogether, during the desk research, we covered 684 publications. We studied 362 websites, which gives us good theoretical and practical case studies to prove that the desk research gives the ideas for further field research and interviews. So, having created the database, theoretical database of the research, we moved to in-depth research, which covered the communication with those people who are really the gems of our cultures. However, the implications which we tried to implement into our research activity were, first, what do we have in common? To find out this, what is unique in each location that can be interesting, not only from the research point of view, but which leads to this, the next question, what is the USP of each location, so unique selling proposition of each location, so that this location is interesting is not only to researchers, but also to the wide public. So the proven methodologies led us in 3 countries to interview 308 craftsmen and the masters of gastronomy, which finally resulted in the preliminary list of stakeholders and locations that might be included into the future thematical route. Testing the route. We have already discussed this today, but what I wanted really to include into my presentation, the criteria, because there are so many interesting people, and we really needed certain criteria according to which we selected them. The first 4 were common for all 3 countries. Whether this particular stakeholder is attractive to tourists? Can they communicate with tourists actively in the interesting way? We also wanted to study how many tourists a certain location can accommodate, very practical point. Whether there are some cafes, hotels around to accommodate people, I mean tourists coming. What are the points of interest nearby? And the last point was typical of Ukraine. You know that roads in Ukraine still remain the headache. We are fighting with this, but accessibility of certain points of interest of certain stakeholder was an important part. As a result, despite coronavirus lockdowns and everything, researchers and the economic partners, the team members managed to test 92 stakeholders and locations and 85 points of interest. That really gives us the basis for further work. The task was to create the route. The funny thing is, when you were listening to Alex, you may have noticed that the map he showed is very much different from the one I show you now, because this was the preliminary path, and the researchers managed to create the path which should be further adapted and populated with other locations. According to the project's plan, we are going to populate another 20 locations further, at least another. So the outcomes of the research team's work. We had two types of outcomes. The ones which can be seen, tangible ones. First of all, we have an important research archive, which may be interesting for further research of this area by other scholars. We have the team's activity reports, which by themselves also is the source of scientific material. We have databases, which can be databases with the addresses and names of craftsmen and other points of interest that can be used not only by researchers, but also by tourist agencies and other stakeholders. And finally, we created the scientific volume. I will talk a bit later about it. For me, it is also important to emphasize that we have a number of intangible outcomes, which are extremely important. First of all, we came to understand our common cultural root, that living close, we are very, very close, not only geographically, but culturally, by our common values. We managed to communicate across the borders with our colleagues and partners on the project to create the networking for further research and activities after the project is over. We received a host of dissemination opportunities at all levels, personal levels, government levels, business levels. And it all contributed to our common cross-cultural awareness, which we as the members of the project have to share with our people who are near. And as I promised, I have the honor to present the scientific volume, which is the result of the research team's work. It is called Passing a Triple Frontier. The list of the qualities which I can mention talking about this book, it is really analytical. I think that it is, we should pay tribute to the editors of the book, because they managed to start with theoretical ideas, background, overview of the literature and publications. They managed to summarize the grounded methodology which was used during the project. Further, there are chapters that are devoted not only to traditions and theory, but also to how network technologies, modern communication media can be used to foster the subject of the project as crafts and gastronomy, traditional crafts of gastronomy. Not the least important is the idea when you read this volume, you see that different authors from different backgrounds write the articles which are really permeated by common values and common interests in what we were doing. And of course, it is synergetic by outcomes because it is not only a scientific volume, it is a source which can give additional information, even inspire other researchers to continue this activity, because our region gives tons of ideas connected with traditional crafts and gastronomy, which can be further developed and studied. And the whole community of 3 countries and further can benefit from it. So very briefly, what I wanted to say about this 2 years intense work, I want to thank my colleagues of the project for cooperation, for timely advice and help. And I hope that although scientific or research work may be not so interesting for our tourists, but still it will give them the glimpse that what we are presenting them is really something that is founded and well-grounded. Thank you for attention.
Natalia, thank you very much for your presentation, for your words. And I would also like to congratulate you for all the hard work and also the research team, because as we heard, we very well know what were the challenges ahead of you, having in mind this pandemic period, in order to discover all the wonderful places on Via Gastrocarpathia route. So thank you to all of you guys and congratulations once again. And now we are going to continue our wonderful journey today, because we have visited the interesting and wonderful part of Romania, Maramureș. Then we went to Ukraine, and now I think we should go and discover Hungary.
Egy kosárfonom műhelyünk, egy fazakos műhelyünk.
A csücsörke műhely már most 11. éve létezik. Először különlegesebb lekvárokkal próbálkoztunk, de igény mutatkozott a hagyományosabb lekvárok készítésével.
A tokai régió a boráról és a csodálatos várairól is nevezetes, ezeket fel lehet fűzni tematikus túrákra. El lehet látogatni borospincékbe, illetve meg lehet mászni szép várakat. Na, akkor az alapkrémünket ugye kiválasztottuk, és akkor ahhoz a hatóanyagokat, a tokai asszút, mert ugye azt nem hagyjuk ki. A napraforgószer kivonatot, napraforgószer, rozmaring, zsája, és az almaőssejt, ezeket már hozzá is raktuk ezzel a kis paradicsadővel. De mielőtt megismerkednénk a város nevezetességeivel, nézzünk meg egy szállodát, a 4 csillagos Hotel Bodrog Wellness-t.
A konyhák a legmodernebb gépekkel felszerelt, amik ugye a modern ételkészítési eljárásokhoz csatlakoznak. Ezáltal ugye a séf meg tudja álmodni, hogy a tradicionális ételeket hogyan kellene egy picit újra gondolva tálalnunk. A konferenciateremmel, ahol különböző meetingeket, csapatépítőket és egyéb konferenciai előadásokat le lehet bonyolítani. De hát itt vagyunk a város központjában, és csupán 150 méterre található tőlünk az Újbástya rendezvényközpont, ahol 120 fős rendezvényterem is rendelkezésre áll. Tehát nem egyszer volt már 400 fős konferencia itt a városunkban, aminek a szállodánk és az egyéb szálláshelyek adtak lehetőséget.
Sziasztok! Horváth Dani vagyok, és ma a mögöttem látható zsadányi pincészetnek fogok fotózni.
Táján vagyunk, ugye a Tokaj-hegy egy délnyugati fekvésű településén. Zsadányi pincészet jelenleg egy 20 hektáron gazdálkodik, termel szárazbort, édesbort, dűlőszerektárbonokat, valamint állítunk elő pezsgőt is.
Sziasztok, ez itt a Balázs utazik, én Gyémánt Balázs vagyok, Diósgyőrből, ahol népi kézműves mesterségeket fogok megmutatni nektek.
Ezzel, hogyha megeszi a paprikás krumplit, sokkal ízletesebb lesz.
Az elsősorban a színes hímzéseiről híres matyó-kultúra nem csak Magyarországot jelképező hungarikum, már az UNESCO is beválasztotta az emberiség megőrzendő kulturális örökségeinek páholyába.
Észre egy újabb szemmel ezeket a motívumokat, és jöttem rá arra, hogy ezekben elképesztő érték és kincs rejlik. Rendelő szeretné, ezáltal egyrészt szeretnénk ezt az őrületes fast fashion-t egy picit leállítani, illetve megmenteni olyan ruhákat, amik adott esetben olajfoltosak lettek, és csak azért nem hallja a vásárló.
Fekete cseresznye, kaptárkövek, barlanglakások, ez itt a Balázs utazik Szomolyáról.
Erre a vidékre jellemzők a pincelakások, révén a tufakő, mint adottság, valamikor építőanyagként. Akkor ez a valamikori konyha, most ez egy szoba lett. Itt volt a bejárat, és ott volt ez egy szabad kéményes megoldású konyha volt.
Sziasztok, Horváth Dani vagyok, és a mai epizódban Lilafüredre látogatunk el, pisztrángot fogunk fotózni, csónakázni fogunk.
And this was also the beautiful Hungary, which is waiting to be discovered on the route of Via Gastrocarpathia. So now we can say that we got a taste of all three countries and of our route on Via Gastrocarpathia. Once again, I would like to kindly propose to you to visit our site viagastrocarpathia.com, in which you can discover all the wonderful places which you will find on our route. I was just talking to Vlad from Cooperativa 2.0, and I was telling him that I would like to go next year. Hopefully I will have the time to do this, to go with my motorcycle and discover the whole route and to make it in a few days. And in this way I think that I will be able to find out everything and more information about every point of interest on this route, and also to meet a few of the people involved, a few of the influencers, because I think this is the wonderful thing about Via Gastrocarpathia, the fact that we have common cultural roots, as Natalia said, and this way we can get connected and have a very nice opportunity to network with new people. So this was our event. I would like to thank you for being with us, and I would like also to thank everybody who made this project possible. First of all, I would like to start with a big thank you to the Maramureș Chamber of Commerce and Industry from Romania for coordinating this project. I know it was very tough. There were a lot of challenges ahead, and fortunately everything turned out just wonderful. Also, I'd like to thank all the partners from the 3 countries for their implications, and I'd like to salute also their efforts and challenges, which we know that everybody have faced. I'd like to thank all the influencers for being with us and also sharing their experiences on the route Via Gastrocarpathia with their communities, and for being with us, guys. It was very nice working with you, the influencers from Romania, of course, and also I'd like to salute the other influencers from Hungary and the Ukraine. And not least, I would like to thank the marketing and communication agency Cooperativa 2.0, and of course thanks to the live agency team for our live events that we have together discovered. Thank you once again. My name is Alex Grecu. I was privileged and honored and very happy to be part of this project, to be among the influencers who discovered the wonderful places in Romania on Via Gastrocarpathia route and the wonderful part of Maramureș County here in Romania. And also thank you very, very much for your attention. And I think and I hope that we are going to meet on the route from now on starting. Till then, have wonderful experiences and stay close to Via Gastrocarpathia.